What is up, Vapor family? This is Elisha Norris from Vapor E-Cigarette LLC here in Wichita, Kansas, located at 3137 West Maple. Now, got some awesome stuff to show you today, so just gonna buckle in, just get right on it. New Steam Crave stuff. Now, some of you have been looking forward to it, and if you haven't been looking forward to it, you need to start looking forward to it. The big boy, 41 millimeter diameter Titan RDTA. This thing is a massive beast. So let me take a quick rip and I'll jump into it. Got the 30 millimeter right now. All right, the big boy, 41 millimeters. Now, Steam Crave did a bang-up job with their 30 millimeter. I mean, juice flow control, the extension tube, the extension to make it 20 mils, the standard 10 mil, then they also have the shorty, 5 mil, plus this daggum thing quadruples as a dripper. With like a 2 mil capacity. You can't go wrong. It's everything. Well, just when I thought it couldn't get better, they come out with that. The 41 millimeter. This is the black that we have in stock at our store and on our website. And this right here is the gunmetal that we have in stock in our store and on our website. VaporEcigarette.net. Now let me tell you about this thing. I'm going to kind of break it down a little bit, give you my views on it, kind of show you some of the similarities, the differences, and show you what I built and all that. So here we go. They did some changes. Okay, first and foremost, what I noticed was that big old beefy drip tip, and just like with the 30, you know, it's right into the cap. One thing that with the 30, they made it so where that top cap, as you can see, it's narrower than the drip tip is narrower than the top cap, which allows you to take the top cap off without having to remove your drip tip. It's one of the little things that you don't really necessarily, it's not a deal breaker, but it's just one of those nice little things, that a little feature they added. Well, they redesigned that top cap, even the new, the 30 millimeters, they redesigned the new ones, and we actually got some of those in stock also. Just re-upped on those. But instead of, because like with this one, if you were using an aftermarket or a custom drip tip, most of the time, because the diameter was a little bit bigger, you would have to take the drip tip off and then take the top cap off to fill it. Well, they changed that with this. Well, not only can you change drip tips, do whatever, first thing they did was remove that top cap. Drip tip comes with it. So you don't have to worry about removing the drip tip and then removing the top cap. It just comes off all as one piece. So you can put in any of your custom tips right in there. And one little thing that kind of helped it out. Now, next thing I noticed, those big old huge juice fill holes. You dang near just take a liter of juice and just dump it in there, and there's plenty of space. This thing is, the holes are massive. Now, next thing is that bottom cap. Not only, you know, right around where your juice flow control is, there's lock and unlock. And just turn that little knob there. I say that. There we go. It's locked and unlocked, which allows your juice to flow freely. So whenever you go to fill up your tank, just flip that over to lock, and it cuts that flow off, so it won't piss juice everywhere like some of the other tanks do that I've since put up because I can't stand that. So that is definitely a nice feature that they had on all their previous tanks, but especially in a big beefy one, it's nice to see that they have that, and it actually works. So, as some of you may or who are familiar with the Aromamizer stuff, their deck and their bottom plate are two separate pieces. So let's just unscrew that. Right there. Those are your feed holes for your tank into your reservoir. Now the 30mm had two, one on each side. This one, if I can find the right spot, has four. So definitely a lot more juice flow you can get out of this bad boy. Which brings me to the next part, the deck. See, there's nice big holes for where the cotton sits right above it, you know. So let's take this thing out and check it out. Look at that beefy monstrosity. You can actually do your normal two, it's a postless of course as you can see, but you can do 2 coil or 3 coil. Actually in mine that I'll show you here in a little bit, I have 3 coils set up. But what's cool about this design is you'll see you got that's how you tighten up that hole. Same thing on that side, but then the side, there's your tighten screw for those 2 middle ones. So what they what they started with this deck though is what they call Lego style modular build deck. Now let me tell you what that means. Not only do you have the postless, it comes with this little bag of goodies. So those first 2 right there, you can actually turn this thing into a velocity style deck where it has a 2 post, which is definitely a really nice thing to have. I was at first, when I got the 30mm, I was leery about building on a postless, but it turned out to be super stupid easy, and actually I prefer it over the velocity style deck. But if you prefer the velocity style, definitely have that option with this deck. No upcharge, no extra, it comes as part of the kit. So unlike some of the other tanks out there, it was if you wanted the postless deck, it was an extra $20-25 bucks. If you wanted the series deck, it was an extra $20-25 bucks. If you wanted the shorty, it was an extra $20-25 bucks. If you wanted the extension, it was an extra $20-25 bucks. This is all in one. Every freaking bit of it comes all in this kit. Now, not only with the velocity style, there's that piece right there on the end. It turns it into a series deck, which, I said, it comes in the kit. It's beautiful. So you can run the lower ohm builds and not have to worry about it being as taxing on your battery, which is kind of nice. So anyways, Lego deck. So far, I haven't ran into any problems yet with this thing. The threads are smooth. Got no, some of the grub screws from time to time on a lot of decks. If you tighten them too tight, they're still sharp edges, so it can actually cut your wire. I have not ran into that, actually with any of the stuff from Aromamizer. So definitely a plus on that end. So that takes us to this part. As you can see, airflow, 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 and even more airflow. Now, just like the 30mm and their previous Supreme and all that, it has that big to small air hole on both sides. Well, with the 41, they also added another couple. They got a single small one on each side, and a slightly bigger oval one. So there's definitely customizable airflow no matter what build you have. And it comes with the nifty little bait band, of course. So let's take this apart. This is actually how you get it into shorty mode too, because this is the standard 28mm tank like I stated previously. But there's also a shorty glass to it. And it comes with 2 shorty glasses. There's that. There's your chimney piece. That just unscrews. Here's a little short stubby one for your 18mm shorty deck or shorty glass. Get that on there. Come on, O-ring. Didn't have any problem with this before, and now it's arguing with me. Of course. Alright. So I got that in there. Make sure that O-ring stays in there. Shorty glass. Got that on there. There you go. Much smaller. Well, 10 mils smaller. But, and the cool thing, like they stayed true with the 30 mil. Not only if you're in shorty mode, say you're out and about, your glass breaks. You don't have your spare glass with you because, you know, you're out and about. Most people don't carry replacement glass. So let's just take the top cap, put that O-ring back in there. There we go. Take that top cap and the bottom deck. Put the top back on. Dripper mode. With a 4.5 mil reservoir underneath. But dripper mode. So in case your glass breaks, you're not vape down, which is freaking awesome. And it holds 4.5 mils in that reservoir roughly, so you don't have to worry about having to re-drip every 2-3 drags. So that's the way they did that is just phenomenal. Flinging stuff around here. So there we go. That's the basics of it. Now, like I said, with and of course, the kit, just like most tanks, extra O-rings, grub screws, freaking Allen key. Not only there's 2 glasses, like I said, for the shorty, there's also 2 glasses for the tall. Now, what I'm going to do here is I'm going to pan over. I'm going to bring in the one I built already after I put this back together, and I'll show you kind of what I did, because just because there's a spot for 3 coils, I just had to build 3 coils. So let me get this back together, and oh, I might need that chimney piece. I'll worry about that later. So there it is. Here's mine, all juiced up, ready to go. Now, show you the build I put in here. Let that drain for a second, get all that juice out of that reservoir. Alrighty. Still a little juicy. So, here's what I did. 3 coils. Still dripping. Ha! 3 coils. What these are Kanthal. They're Clapton coils. They are 26 gauge core with 32 outer. And I actually paralleled them. So it's 3 coils, essentially 6 coils. Ohms out to, I don't know, throw it on the meter real quick. Let me screw that top back on. Alright. I got this little 521 mini voltmeter, which came in this kit from Coil Master. We definitely have those in stock at the shop too. $67.95 for those bad boys, and it comes with, as you can see, the pliers, the wire snips, the fine needle tweezers, the ceramic tweezers, the flathead and Phillips head screwdriver, scissors, some Kanthal there, and then right here, of course, is all your sizes, ranging from a 15 millimeter or a 1.5 millimeter up to a 4 millimeter bit that you can wrap your coil around. My coils are around the 4 millimeter bit, and let's see, pop that over the meter. .17, 0.17 on a triple coil Clapton parallel Clapton, however you want to say it. And I'm actually going to be running this bad boy on my Hammer of God, the V2 series parallel, 8.17 volts on all 4 batteries. Now, I'll tell you what, the batteries I'm using, we've done a lot of testing with batteries, a lot of testing. Different batteries, from the Brownies to the VCT4s, freaking everything. Right now, actually, what I'm running are don't want to have to unscrew that to take it out, but I'm running Gorilla batteries. They are a 60 amp, 40 amp continuous, and they're a 3100 milliamp battery. These things, especially in a mech mod, they are beastly. So anyways, as I was saying, this was 0.17, 3 coil on the Hammer of God. Thing just chucks and chucks, and no issues with dry burn. I mean, I'm taking decently long rips, especially for such a low build on such power. Keeping up with every bit of that. Now, the trick I've found with, even with my 30 millimeter and with this bad boy, is once I had the cotton in the wicks, I thinned them out a little bit. And that's where it's kind of nice to have, like what comes in this kit, the sharp needle tips. Because then I can just take the cotton as it's coming out of the coil and just do that to thin it out. Thin it out. You don't want to thin it out all the way, just about half, you know, then especially with the 3 coils in there, tough it all in. Not one bit of leaking, as you can see. None at all. And it was keeping up. Without a doubt, it was keeping up with the multiple rips at such high power. Now, I would definitely suggest, if you can, you got to get one of these. And like on the hammer, you see there's just it doesn't even come all the way to the edge. It's a 41 millimeter. Right here, it's just because that's beveled right there. So it looks like it's overhang, but it's really not. But this thing is a beast and a powerhouse. Yeah, I love it. And just like with the 30 millimeter, Aromamizer is making a solid product. Solid. I haven't had any issues with them whatsoever. And definitely come check us out. Come get your hands on one of these. You can't go wrong. And once again, check us out online, vaporycigarette.net, or in store, 3137 West Maple. We are open from on Tuesday through Saturday, 10:30 a.m. to 6:30 p.m. And I'll be there. I'm the one in the back making juice. So, and actually this right here is the new Ace that we just came out with not too long ago, about 2 weeks ago. Beautiful, tasty juice. So, definitely come take a look at one of the biggest selections in Kansas you can get. We have glass for almost everything. So, come check us out. Come take a look at this. This will be here. If you want to take a rip on it, I'll let you take a rip on it. So, have a great day and vape on.